So the question is, a mass m is dropped from a height h. At halfway from the ground, what is the total energy? So let's say you have a mass m which is dropped from a height h. So this is the ground, this is mass m, and it is dropped from a height h. यहाँ से हम लोगों ने ड्रॉप किया. अब इसके हाफ पॉइंट पे, एट हाफ वे फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड, हाफ वे फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड मीन्स एट अ हाइट h/2. Let's say this point is A and this point is B. So at this point B, which is at a height h/2, halfway from the ground, what is the total energy here? So let us calculate. So if this is h/2, this will also be equal to h/2. So when the object is dropped from some height, the initial velocity at this point u will be 0, and the velocity v, let's say we have to calculate the velocity v here. The acceleration of the ball which is falling down is acceleration due to gravity g. It is, in a downward direction. From third equation of motion, we know that v square is equal to u square plus 2as. V square is equal to, initial speed is u, that is 0 square, plus 2 acceleration downward direction g, and height h/2. Okay. So this will give us v square is equal to 2 and 2 gets cancelled. V square is equal to gh. V is equal to root under gh. Now total energy हमें निकालना है at B. So total energy at B. So we'll find potential energy at B first. So potential energy at B is equal to mg into height कितना है h/2. So this is mgh upon 2. Kinetic energy at B is equal to half mv square, half into m into v square कितना है gh के बराबर है from 1. Okay, so this will become mgh by 2. Half mgh means mgh by 2. So total energy at B, we'll add potential energy and kinetic energy at B. So total energy at B is equal to potential energy at B plus of kinetic energy at B. Potential energy at B is mgh by 2. Kinetic energy at B is equal to mgh by 2. दोनों को add कर देंगे तो this is equal to mgh. So total energy at B is mgh. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
लिख लिया बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll go to the next one. The next question is, a light and a heavy object have the same momentum. What is the ratio of their kinetic energies? Which one has a larger kinetic energy? So the first part, light and heavy object, let m1 and m2 are masses of two objects which are light and heavy respectively. So M1 is the lighter one, M2 is the heavier one, right? Have the same momentum. है ना? So let their velocities be V1 and V2. So since momentum P1 is equal to P2, है ना, मोमेंटम को P से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्ट का मोमेंटम सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्ट के मोमेंटम के बराबर है क्योंकि यहाँ सेम मोमेंटम बताया हुआ है. सो M1 into V1 is equal to M2 into V2. The momentums are same. Now, what is the ratio of their kinetic energies? So we have to find the ratio of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy of the first object divided by kinetic energy of the second object is equal to half m1 v1 square by half m2 v2 square. Okay. हाफ और हाफ कैंसिल हो गया, m1 by m2 into v1 by v2 का होल स्क्वायर. अब इस वाले रिलेशन से वी कैन फाइंड m1 डिवाइडेड बाय m2 इज इक्वल टू v2 डिवाइडेड बाय v1, राइट. देखो m2 को इस तरफ लेके आ जाएंगे, v1 को इधर लेके चले जाएंगे, तो m1 by m2 विल बिकम v2 by v1. दिस इज द फर्स्ट इक्वेशन and this is second equation. We know the ratios m1 and m2 are the masses of two heavier and lighter object. हम लोगों को रेशियो निकालना है, which one, ratio of their kinetic energies, right? So ratio of their kinetic energies अगर हम लोग को निकालना है, this will be equal to m1 by m2 v1 by v2. So v2 by v1 is m1 by m2. So v1 by v2, the reciprocal of this, that will become m1. So v1 by v2 will become m2 by m1. So we'll write m2 by m1 whole square. So this becomes m1 into m2 square, m2 into m1 square. So this gets cancelled, m1 बचेगा, m2 और यहाँ पे m2 बचेगा. So this is equal to m2 divided by m1, right? So ratio of kinetic energy is equal to mass m2 divided by m1. ठीक है. What is the ratio of their kinetic and which one has a larger kinetic energy? देखो अब जिसका मास, देखो m2 का मास m1 से ज्यादा है, since m2 is greater than m1, that means kinetic energy जो first object का है, that is greater than kinetic energy of second object, right? So which one has larger kinetic energy? The lighter mass, the one which has a lesser mass will have higher kinetic energy than the other, right? देखो यहाँ पे m2 न्यूमरेटर में है ना, न्यूमरेटर m2 इज ग्रेटर देन m1, तो इधर न्यूमरेटर में जो होगा वही इससे बड़ा होगा, तो ke1 will be greater than ke2. So kinetic energy of the first object will be greater than the kinetic energy of the second object. आगे समझ?
Yes, sir.
So this is the first part. सबने लिख लिया first part?
Yes, sir, written.
What about others?
Written, sir.
Second part is a ball is dropped from a height of 10 meter. If the energy of the ball reduces by 40% after striking the ground, so the ball is dropped from a height of 10 meter. And if the energy of the ball reduces by 40% after striking the ground, how much high can the ball bounce back? So it comes here and then it bounces back and goes up to a height. It will not go up to the full height. Why? Because 40% of the energy is being reduced, है ना, has been lost. जब ये जमीन से टकराया, जब ये ground से टकराएगा तो 40% of the energy has been lost in that collision. So it will not go up to the complete height. Let's say it goes up to a height h. Okay. So see, kinetic energy of the ball after falling height h will be equal to mgh. So see, potential energy at, let's say this is point A, this is point B, right? So is equal to potential energy at A. So kinetic energy of the ball after falling through height h, okay, at B is equal to potential energy at A. So all the potential energy at A has been converted into kinetic energy when it is just about to hit the ground. So in that case, potential energy at A we know is equal to mgh, or mass mg10 and h is 10. So this is 100 m. Now kinetic energy of ball after striking the ground while bouncing back see, it is reduced, the kinetic energy reduces by 40%. So that means 100 m minus 40% of 100 m, right? So the 40% of the total energy has been reduced. So 100 m minus 40% of 100 m. So 100 m minus 40 by 100 into 100 m. So this is equal to 60 m. 100 m minus 40 m will be equal to 60 m. This is the kinetic energy of ball after striking the ground. So now kinetic energy at B while bouncing back so kinetic energy at B while bouncing back is equal to potential energy at C. ठीक है, जब वो बाउंस बैक हुआ उसके बाद मैक्सिमम हाइट C तक जा रहा है तो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एट C. Now Kinetic energy at B is 60 m while bouncing back, and potential energy will be equal to mg into h. So mass mg is 10 into h. So this will give us 60 m is equal to 10 mh. So h is equal to 60 m divided by 10 m. So this is equal to 6 meter. लिख लिया बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ये तो हम लोग ने ऑलरेडी कर लिया जब हम लोग डिराइव कर रहे थे कि शो दैट फॉर अ फ्रीली फॉलिंग ऑब्जेक्ट द सम ऑफ इट्स पोटेंशियल एंड काइनेटिक एनर्जी रिमेन्स अनचेंज्ड एट ऑल पॉइंट्स ड्यूरिंग इट फॉल। तो हम लोगों ने ये किया था कि एक ऑब्जेक्ट है, लेट्स से एक तो टॉप पॉइंट पे कोई भी पॉइंट एक्स पे और ये ग्राउंड पे। सो तीन पोजीशन लिया था हमने, ए बी और सी। इसका जो टोटल हाइट है ए का is h from the ground, and let's say it has fallen down by a distance x, then this distance from the ground, height from the ground, is h minus x for this point B. The mass of the object is m, right? अब at A पे आएंगे, अगर potential energy at A, ठीक है, so potential energy at A will be equal to mgh, and kinetic energy at A is equal to 0. So this will give total energy is equal to mgh plus 0. This is mgh. अच्छा, इस पॉइंट पे ना, इस पे वेलोसिटी v1 है, लेट से, और इस पॉइंट यहाँ पे वेलोसिटी v है। तो v1 इज विल बी इक्वल टू, अगर हम लोग इसको सॉल्व करते हैं, सो v1 स्क्वायर is equal to 0 square plus 2gx. So v1 square is equal to 2g. ठीक है, उसी तरह so v square is equal to 0 square plus 2gh. So v square is equal to 2gh, ये सेकेंड वाला हो गया। At B, potential energy at B will be equal to mg into h minus x, and kinetic energy at B will be, तो B पे देखो वेलोसिटी v1 स्क्वायर है, तो काइनेटिक एनर्जी हाफ m v1 स्क्वायर, इफ वी राइट इट, इट विल बी हाफ m v1 square is 2gx, 2 and 2 gets cancelled, So this is mgx. Potential energy at C is 0. Kinetic energy at C is half mv square. So v square is equal to 2gh. So this will become mgh. Okay. Now total energy here, if we calculate, mgh minus x plus mgx. So minus mgx plus, so if you open this, this will be mgh minus mgx plus mgx. These two gets cancelled. You will get mgh only, total energy. Similarly, in the third case, the total energy is equal to 0 plus mgh. This will give mgh, right? So at all these places you can see, at A also the total energy is mgh. At any point, at a distance x from A, so x can be any point, right? It is a variable. So there also the total energy is mgh, and at C also the total energy is mgh. So this is what we had to show in this question, so that for a freely falling object, the sum of its potential energy and kinetic energy remains unchanged at all points during the fall. Is it clear, Picha?
Yes, sir.
लिख लिया सभी ने?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Next question is, a body of 2 kg falls from a height of 500 meter. So we have an object which has a mass of 2 kg, and this is falling from a height of 500 meter. So the height is equal to 500 meter. Find the kinetic energy and potential energy of the body after 8 seconds of fall. तो आफ्टर 8 सेकेंड ऑफ फॉल, मान लो ये t इज इक्वल टू 8 सेकेंड्स में ये ऑब्जेक्ट पहले A पे था, B पे आ गया. तो इस पॉइंट पे जो पहले तो वी हैव टू फाइंड दिस वेलोसिटी at this point v. So we know that v is equal to u plus at, और v is equal to u, यहाँ पे क्या है, u is equal to 0 and a is equal to g. The body is falling with an acceleration due to gravity g. So v is equal to 0 plus gt. So this will give you v is equal to gt, right? So v is equal to g का वैल्यू 10 ले लेंगे और इसको 8 ले लेंगे. So this is 80 meter per second. So once we have got, sorry, 80 meter per second. Once we have got the value of v, now we'll calculate the distance which it has traveled during these 8 seconds. So let's say this is the distance which it has traveled. So x is equal to ut plus half at square, और x is equal to initial velocity 0 हो गया, 0 plus half gt square, half into g 10, t is 8 into 8, so 32 into 10, so this is 320 meter. Okay, so x is equal to 320 meter. Now find the kinetic energy and potential energy of the body after 8 seconds of fall, right? So once we have got this distance 320 meter, the distance from the ground at this point, let's say this is uh, represented by y. Y will be equal to 500 meter. Why? Because this is the total height, 500 meter, minus of 320 meter. So this will be equal to 180 meter. Okay. So we have to find the kinetic energy and potential energy of both of the objects. So kinetic energy at B is equal to half mv square, half into mass is 2 kg, and v square is equal to 80 into 80. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. It's a 6400, 6400 joules. Then we have potential energy at B is equal to mgh. So 2 into the value of G is equal to 10 into, and the height here is 180 meter. So 180 into 2 is 360 into 10, 3600. Okay, 3600 joule. So this is the total. So you have to find kinetic and potential energy separately. So this is how you calculate the kinetic energy and potential energy separately of an object which has fallen through for a time period of 8 seconds. Clear बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
लिख भी लिया सबने?
Written, sir.
Great. Try this question and give me the answer. Let me see who has understood it properly. हुआ बच्चों? नहीं हो रहा बच्चों?
So just a minute.
हो गया बच्चों? चलो आई सॉल्व इट. So a ball of mass 1 kg dropped from a height of 5 meter on a surface. It bounces to a height of 1.8 meter. So the mass m is equal to 1 kg dropped from a height of 5 meters. So initial height is 5 meter. It bounces to a height of 1.8 meter. टकराने के बाद it bounces to a height of 1.8 meter. ठीक है? Calculate the loss of kinetic energy of the ball when it strikes the surface. So see, this is point A and this is point B. Let's see kinetic energy before striking the ground, before striking the surface, is equal to potential energy at A. Potential energy at A कितना है? M into G into H, which is, so let's say this is H1 and this is H2. So mgh1, m is 1 kg, g is 10 and h1 is 5. 10 into 5 is 50 Newton, 50 joules, right? Now, kinetic energy after striking the surface, this is equal to, जब ये टकराने के बाद जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी होगा दैट विल बी इक्वल टू पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एट बी. ठीक है? सो काइनेटिक एनर्जी आफ्टर स्ट्राइकिंग द सरफेस इज पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एट बी. टकराने के बाद जो रीबाउंड करेगा वो जिस एनर्जी से रीबाउंड करेगा दैट इज इक्वल टू द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी जो कि यहाँ पे होगा, है ना? दैट काइनेटिक एनर्जी विल गेट कन्वर्टेड इनटू पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. पहले पोटेंशियल एनर्जी काइनेटिक एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट हुआ, और बाद में रिबाउंड करने के बाद काइनेटिक एनर्जी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी में कर रहा है. सो काइनेटिक एनर्जी आफ्टर स्ट्राइकिंग द सरफेस इज पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एट बी. दिस इज mgh2, or which is 1 into 10 into 1.8. So this is 18 joule, right? So we have to calculate the loss of kinetic energy. Loss of kinetic energy is kinetic energy before striking minus kinetic energy after striking. Kinetic energy before striking है हमारा 50 joules minus 18 joules. ये कितना हो जाएगा? 32 joules हो जाएगा. Loss of kinetic energy is equal to 32 joules.
सर मेरा 30 जूल्स आ रहा था.
कितना आ रहा था?
30 जूल्स. शायद कुछ कैलकुलेशन मिस्टेक थी.
अच्छा, बाकियों का हुआ? समझ में आ गया सबको?
Yes, sir.
Has everyone written this?
Yes, sir.
Please do this question. Please attempt it. If you are not able to, then I'll solve it.
Sir, I got the answer.
What is your answer?
Sir, potential energy is 125 joules and the maximum height is 1.25 meter.
Potential energy, how much did you say?
So 125 joules.
And here?
So 1.25 meter.
So, excuse me, sir, I've also got height is 1.28 meters and potential energy is 125 joules.
Okay, let's say. So 10 kg ball is thrown upward with a speed of 5 meter per second. So we are throwing a ball whose mass is 10 kg with a speed of 5 meter per second. Find its potential energy when it reaches the highest point. So we have to find the potential energy at highest point. Okay, calculate the maximum height it reaches. We have to find the h also. So see, potential energy, okay, at h. So this is equal to kinetic energy at ground. So kinetic energy at ground is equal to potential energy at height h, because whatever kinetic energy you have given it here, the body here at the ground, that will be converted into potential energy at the height h. So potential energy at height h is mgh is equal to kinetic energy at ground, that is half mu square. So half into mass 10 u square means 5 into 5. So this is 5 cube, 125 joules. So 125 joule mgh. So this is your potential energy at height h. Now maximum height it reaches. mgh is 125. H is equal to 125 by m is 10 kg, g is 10. 125 by 100. So that will be 1.25 meter. तुमने जी क्या 9.8 लिया है? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So,
लिख भी लिया सबने?
Yes, sir.
I hope everyone has understood this, the concept. Here the kinetic energy is converted into potential energy. So kinetic energy at the ground is converted into potential energy at height h. So this is your homework. Okay, you will do this question in homework, and be prepared for your test in the next class. Okay, prepare well. I have shared the. I hope I have shared the notes with you guys. PDF मैंने भेजा है ना आप लोगों को इसका? Have I sent the PDF of this chapter? जवाब दो बच्चों, भेजा है नहीं भेजा है?
Sir, I think so you have sent.
So you don't remember? चलो मैं देख लेता हूँ कि मैंने भेजा है कि नहीं. What I'll do, I'll send it again, okay? If at all, if it is not there, you can prepare from it. Okay.
Okay,
I'll
sir.
send the whole chapter's PDF, which has question bank also inside it, so that you can prepare accordingly. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
okay, sir.
Okay, okay. चलिए, bye and take care everyone. And all the best for the
Thank you.
tests in the next
Thank
class.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And prepare well, खराब number नहीं लाना.